Come on, turn it. Oh, yeah, that was nice. All right, guys, so this is kind of a last-minute build. Weston Anderson's coming up again. He's going to be up at Horizon RC Fest, and our grudge match here with the SCX24s is going to continue. And I mentioned that I was going to copy his SCX24 build and have something that would be in the same vein of what he had. And so we're going to go ahead and start working on that. Don't have a lot of time. I got a bunch of other things I got to get ready for the event itself. Still printing off and making the score sheets for the competition. And I don't have anything ready. I have so many things that are not ready. But I went shopping. I've got my camping stuff ready. We're going to camp it out there. And yeah, so it's going to be good. So let's get in here. We'll take a look at this truck and talk about what we're going to do with it and get it built. All right, so I'm on YouTube again, and I'm watching back the video, and I'm looking through he's running the brass wheels, hot racing shocks, Endura links underneath there. I don't have any Endura links that I can put in there, but he's running stock electronics. What else can we see in there? Battery trays in the normal spot, shocks are normal positioning, aftermarket, E-Max-ish servo. We'll put in something like a Honey Badger or something similar. He's just running a lot of metal things.
This one I haven't done too much problems.
Stock motor though.
But that one's...
You can see the servo there. Does look to be like an E-Max. So we'll find something somewhat comparable. And he's running some brass there, and he also has brass knuckles I can see up front, as well as brass diff covers. So some fairly simple things we could do to mod it out, and he removed the top and all that, so let's get to it. Okay, so I've gone ahead and grabbed a bunch of things I think we can use in here. I had to buy another screw kit up at Reaction because I had a breakdown. But here's some things that are very iconic to Weston's truck. And these are the Patagonia tires from RC 4-wheel drive. He loves him some Patagonias, and so we picked these up, and that was going to be the start of our mimic of his build. We don't have the E-Max, but we got the Honey Badger, so we'll put that in there. I don't have metal horn or anything for it. Not a big deal. Brass knuckles. That's to help to copy. We've got some diff covers here we're going to slap on that are brass. He was running those. We got some metal parts for up front here we can do. And I don't have the Endura ones, and I don't know if this is going to make it too different than his. If I use these, am I going to go too far? Because these are high clearance links, and it does not look like his were. These also feel like they're brass. So I might be better off just leaving the stock ones on, as far as keeping it the same or similar to his build. Or we just say, we're close enough. We're going to kill you. And we just go for it. I think we do that. I think we might even take it up a notch and just go ahead and stick in a baby Goliath while we're at it. It's in the same vein of his truck with the patties, small tires, and that. But we're in competition, people. You got to pull out some stops. So we're going to do that a little bit. We're going to take ours a little next level. I can't tell you how many of these things we have opened and unboxed. It has been a lot. These are probably my most purchased RC that I have. We have bought a lot of SCX24s. Going to be running the stock electronics, get another charger, and some spare little bits here to add to our collection of parts that we keep. Here we go. There she is. There she blows. This is the smooth electronics. We like these electronics. This has got to go. Oh. Was he running the stock bumper? We're going to have to look. But I do know we need to come inside here and we want to remove this whole stuff in the back. All right, we did an instant replay and we just saw that he in fact is not running a front bumper. So we will be removing ours as well. So we're just gonna throw all this down in our bin of that we have our collection. Look at that, it looks sharp. So we're gonna remove stuff up front here. We're just gonna start digging in, get our mighty handy tool out. All right, cow RC mat time. Let's start collecting screws here, people. All right, every little advantage that we can find, we're gonna take. So we're gonna find here where that is, and he, I guess, just is going no bumper. Easy enough. You guys aren't catching what we're doing here. We're keeping this super simple. Some super simple mods. Very easy to do. I luckily just have a whole bunch of stuff sitting here that I can choose from, but they're available to you at CCxRC.com if you're interested in any of these parts. All right, I think next I feel like the plastic links gots to go, so we're gonna have to use these. These are the only metal ones we have, and so we're gonna run them. Building out our class 2s. I think I might make myself some anti-foams as well. I've worked on these enough now that we just kind of go for it with these things. Try to keep it simple. Not think too much about it. So there's that. Really stiff. So we're going to take off one of the O-rings. Try and get a little bit more flex out of it that way. Give it a little bit more wiggle room. All right, I got the lower links up front done. I can't do the upper links just yet because I need to change out the servo and yeah, the servo mount, and that'll allow me to do the 4-link up there. So I gotta do that first and then we can get at it. So I'm gonna start tearing the front end apart here. Gonna be a little bit more, that's gonna need to be done in order to make this all happen. All right, this front end is gonna pretty much require a complete overhaul up here in order to fit stuff in here. So we're just gonna start taking pieces off of here. So now, the nice thing about my brass servo mount is that it does allow you to do 4 links. It's threaded both sides. So we're gonna swap this out, put those links in, and I think we can actually do that before we put it in, so that'll be nice. This is gone. Oh, so now that whole servo mount comes right on out like that. What we're gonna do is throw it to the side. Get a brass one like this. Now this chassis, if I recall, is extra tricky with longer servos, so we're gonna have to probably get creative with our installations here. So the first thing we want is to find where the last 2 links are, upper links. Here we go. Same thing we want to do with these is we're going to remove, we're just going to take them all. Each one's going to get 2 taken off, so that, well, each side is going to get 1 taken off, but 2 total per link. I'm going to put a little bit of thread lock on these going into metal, and these parts move. So we definitely want to have a thread lock on here. And ready to go. Pop it off the shocks. There we go. Now, this will be a lot easier with all that out of the way. Move your shocks out of the way, pop them off. You can get this lined up easy. Grab your long screw, drive it home. All right, so that's ready to assemble. So next, we'll just go ahead and take off the knuckles because those are going. Knuckles are gone. What else is gone? Whoa, all this steering, bunch of stuff here is gone. Pretty sure we're just gonna redo the whole front end here. There it goes. The drive shaft wasn't falling out. I hear Dana saying do the 33%. 33. We're gonna do the 33% overdrives. All right. That was that easy. While we're at it, let's put some CVDs in here too. Getting the special treatment today. However, let's take a quick look at those brass knuckles. They just have a whole lot more to hit. So unless you trim this out, it's gonna hit more. So I don't think it's a good advantage to do that with this. With these, you'd have to really do a lot of trimming. So we're gonna keep the stock knuckles, so not these. So these are very flat on the back, very flat. And if you look at these, look how much the back of them are cut in, and that matches. But when you get the aftermarket front axles, they don't have that at all. It's a completely different way that it mounts to it. And there's a whole lot more steering room because it doesn't have these huge balls going around it. So I think we'll keep those stock. So Weston can have the one-upmanship there on us, because we're not going to do that. But we are going to do overdrive, and we're going to do CVDs. So we need this bearing. They really like to stick in those plastic diff covers. It's crazy. All right, so get that little bit of weight up front. That looks great. All right, so now's the part where we're gonna go ahead and reattach our servo mount, like so. So now we've got the brass one there. We gotta use these long screws that came with the diff cover in order to go all the way through it and tie into the back. So there we go. So now we're at the hard part. Getting our servo to fit in here, not hit the electronics, not hit the frame up here where the shocks mount, which is a very real possibility. So we're gonna see what our options are. So here we go. I'm choosing this one. It's shorter than the Mighty Eagle. It's also closer to what I believe Weston is gonna be running with the Emax size. So now there's two options that I can see here. And one is what I typically do, which is to just put this in and let it sit up on. So you can push it all the way back, or one of the things is you can just set it forward just a little bit, put a little spacer nut between them. Because what's happening is the servo is a little longer than this mount. So I usually just kick it up like that right on top of the links and angle it just a little. You can see it angling, hitting right there. That's typically how I do it. The other way is to just push it out just the littlest bit and have a little spacer there and bring your servo a little forward, which may help with some clearance. Another thing that I'm gonna do, because these are really square, is I'm just gonna take this knife and kind of angle this a little. That way if it does hit the chassis, it'll kind of glance off it. So just kind of putting a little angle on those upper pieces there. Shave the ears a little. That way it'll hit and kind of just slide. Continue making the rest of the motion you want it to make. So at this point, I'm just gonna kick it up. We're just gonna push it all the way in and have it tilt forward a little bit, as it's doing right now. Nobody can really tell, but it's just hitting right up there. Doesn't stop anything from moving. Doesn't really hinder anything. And this is the way that I've run them for years. Now you know. That's how we've been doing it, and it's been working great for us. That little bit of an angle has not come into play at all for me. Started doing this with the reef ones way back when. Continued on with every other one. But it all started with wanting to mount the Reefs 99 Micro in these. And that's where the little kind of angle, you can see that gap there. That little angle came from right there. Works awesome. We're gonna put these brass steering links on because we aren't running the brass knuckles. We need a little bit more weight up front somewhere, so we'll do it with this and we should be good. I'm gonna wait to zero this out before I put the servo horn on. So we're gonna get all this set. We'll put the servo horn through this and you'll see how that goes. It's pretty easy. Now here's the trick. Before we put on our servo horn, and I use white servo horns, always have. Don't typically use metal ones. It's kind of, my thought is, hey, we don't have we do not have servo savers on these. So you want a little bit of a flex point or whatever, so you don't tear up all the internal gears inside the servo by tumbling with it or whatever. All right, so we gotta find out how many of these to cut off. I'm gonna cut off 2 on the bottom here. See if we can keep more, get a little bit more steering through. Now we're gonna take this one. Before we do anything, I like to just screw it through it. So let's find a good screw length. 5 down. Here to try and, we're basically gonna thread through this. And once it gets it, like that. Now you could put a nut on the other side. I don't usually. And Weston is not gonna know what hit him. We'll plug it in. Power down, servo's working. We're zeroed. So I want to try and zero the tires. What would be the tires. And then bam. It's a little off. We can trim it. Nice. All right. All right, so we're getting out a fresh pair of these Patagonias, and what Weston doesn't know is that we aren't going to be running the stock foams. We're going to be doing these pine tree inserts that I've been making, and we're going to run these in here and see how they do. So I got to take this one back out. I was just sizing these up. I actually was making these for Proline tires, but when I started sizing up for making some for these, I realized, wait a second, that size is familiar. So just putting a little vent hole in them, and then we're gonna go give it a go. Some of my other ones I did 4. I think this will be fine. Oh man, that could be exactly what I want. Oh, it feels pretty good. Give this a quick shake down, see how this feels. So these were in Jura size to go with the wheels that I sell, which are these brass ones that I'm putting in right now. Well, that's what people know it as far as the sizing, so we just use that same sizing for ours. All right. I think I'm all right with that. You guys, as you can see here, we got new graphics on the side, identity theft with the abbreviation on top, IT, a couple of stickers, but overall the outside of this thing, you know, we just kept pretty basic. Under the hood, we've got the Patagonias tires on these brass wheels that I sell on CCxRC.com. Brass Mofo high clearance links, Honey Badger servo. Got the overdrive in the front axle, all the stuff you've seen. Brass links, brass servo mount, Honey Badger servo, baby Goliath motor on the side there. So class 2 basically. Again, overdrive. There's a diff cover brass on the front. I did not put one on the rear. I just forgot. So that's the reason for that. No special reasoning. All right, let's see what we got here. The nice weight of the brass wheels down low. Most of the weight on this is down low. I just went ahead and cut out these stickers on my Cricut. Threw them on here. Got a little Reeves one rocking in the back. We'll see here kind of how it side hills. Going through here. Wow, that's not too bad, especially as it lifts on this. Wow, I would expect it to be rolling there. We'll take it. Pretty nice. Tires feel nice and grippy. You can see them flexing on stuff as it hits. So the inserts are doing well there. They definitely helped with the side hilling. Not a ton of squish to the tire. They don't look super aired down. They look nice and firm, but they've got a little bit there. And when there's a lot more weight on, or you're coming against, you can see it there pushing in. So that's kind of what I want. It's wrapping a little bit. Not a lot of flex, running stock shock still. I have the Pro lines to put on here, but haven't done it yet. So yeah, looking pretty good. The steering on these longer chassis isn't as good as my other trucks. I also feel like the aftermarket axles with the brass knuckles have a little bit more steering, but that could just be in my head, but it definitely feels like it to me. All right, what else can we do in here? Let's rock it over here and see what happens. I need that to pull. I need that front end to pull. There. Come on, turn it. Oh, yeah, that was nice. A little traction. All right. Nicely done. I'm pretty happy with how it's handling, especially considering stock shocks and all. Brushed motor. Stock radio. I wonder if I could get a little more steering if I ground down some of the plastic or shaved it with a knife. Might be something I'll look into. Try and line this up. There we go, come on. I can see the tires flexing there pretty good. Don't get any of that bounce or pull when it's not clay and don't have that little slippage going on. The flex isn't even that bad, to be honest. It's getting to where it needs to get to. The high clearance links are nice. I just lost a screw or something. Something fell out. We'll take a look for that. Maybe just out of a wheel. All right, well guys, I think this will do all right. Weston, you better get your stuff ready, man. I'm coming for you.